See what that was.
That'd be so nice if there's like no drop frames throughout this. Also, this light's kind of bright, ain't it? Okay, so oh, I was. I don't know if it's worth making fun of because I feel as if that's the cooler Reddit. But why does your Reddit look like that?
Because new Reddit is dog shit. Oh, I gotta clean my glasses. Shit, 1 second.
Okay, do I have a singular track? I guess era. Let's see, recent. Can't I hear you?
All right, sorry.
That's fire. Oh, that's an old album. Holy.
Wait, I made the joke like a million times, but have you actually gone to like a professional or a semi-professional outdoor game once?
Sports, soccer.
Yeah. Yes. Or football, but whatever. Where you're at.
No,
Oh, okay. So who's been
actually,
cool?
actually, we were gonna get tickets for the game that I told you the other day I was watching, but they were sold out too quickly.
Oh, were you
Jeez.
watching the France Ivory Coast
Of
game?
course, of
I
course.
was wondering because again I don't follow soccer, but I did see that and I saw Ivory Coast won. I was like, who are y'all rooting for? I'm assuming
It was,
Ivory Coast, but
yeah, for sure. But it was nutty because France was ranked number one in FIFA.
yeah, I saw. That's
Nah,
hype.
Ivory Coast. They got a good team. They got a good
That's hype.
team.
That's hype.
The reason why I brought that up is
Damn.
because when if you do go or somebody goes, I want to make fun of y'all because the prices at games and stadiums for food just be astronomical if people just buy it.
What was the thing? Was it a ludicrous display? Ace, come
Hmm?
on. The ludicrous
What?
display? Was that the phrase?
What are you talking about? With Tesla?
No.
What is that from? It
Like,
sounds familiar.
The soccer
ludicrous.
game. After you watch the
Oh,
soccer game, or are you trying to talk to people about the soccer game?
Is that are you talking like the IT crowd bit?
Exactly.
what? Wait, what?
Okay, yeah,
They were
yeah.
trying to relate to people who watch soccer, and they were like, "Oh, did you see that ludicrous display?"
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
Yo, that show is so fucking funny, man. It truly is. Man, y'all are lucky that y'all over in country mass because this World Cup shit is coming up.
Oh,
And the traffic, bro, because they have it at Gillette, the traffic is going to be
yeah, it's
disgusting.
right near you, right?
Really? They're having it.
Yeah.
They're having it in Mass.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of games.
In Mass and in Gillette.
They
And
already had
Wow.
which is in
one game.
Foxborough. And since I moved to Mansfield, which is like 5 minutes from Foxborough,
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it's in your
that
corner.
suck.
I'm not gonna be able to drive that way.
I don't know
You
like
got to
how
just check
bad
the
the traffic
schedule.
is gonna be, like if it's just gonna be during the game. I don't even know like the get scheduled for the games, but Either way, it's gonna be nasty.
Goodness gracious, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. That's insane. Maybe we
Oh,
should
yeah,
go see a game.
the U.S. just lost to Germany, so
Oof.
but it was a friendly match, quote unquote friendly.
I mean, Ace, if the traffic isn't that bad, and if it's like a low tier game that people aren't crazy at, I'd be down to go see a game.
Yeah.
I'd be hyped. I never actually seen a game in the state. Well, I know I saw that NBA game, so I can't say that. But
All the chatting pretty much confirms it, but real quick, just say formal audio test. Ace.
Check. How do I sound? A little bit echoey.
Definitely can hear an echo. You gotta put like what do rappers do? They go in their closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, egg cartons.
Ghost.
check.
Sound pretty good. It's been months, so I don't believe that mic is in the same place. And you've been putting all type of new pieces of equipment in your place, so but I can't confirm.
Oh, my a funny thing, I actually need to get a mic because I've been rocking the same mic list setup for the past 5+ episodes. So it has a move, but I do gotta upgrade that because I keep forgetting.
They don't sound bad. I'll look into one and I might send that. Wes.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Everything actually sounded a little loud actually. Maybe
Really?
away from-
I am just for the record, I am micless too, but
oh yeah, I can.
the mic.
Tell on your end.
Okay, but the mic you sent or you gave me I thought it didn't work, but then I just tried it with a mic line into the new amp I got, and it does work. So I don't know what's actually going on. It works. I mean, maybe it's just that it works with a mic line, but not with a USB. I don't know. That's the one. That's the same brand you're using.
Oh, me?
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, I have a different one.
Okay.
But I'll look into seeing. The shipping handling might be a bit different for you, so I might just have to give a recommendation.
No, I'll figure it out. I need to double check if I can get it to work or not at all, but it does work with a cord.
And then what about me? Do you guys hear me loud and clear? Is the volume at a decent level?
All good.
Mhm.
I was worried if it was coming in low, but I guess it sounds all right. Okay. Then if that's the case, then whenever you guys have a second, pull up the stream just to make sure it sounds all right on your end. Just leave a comment or something like that, just see that that's working. And otherwise, we can get right into it. Let me hit record. Don't say anything that you don't want on record.
Damn it.
I don't think you guys can hear it, but I was just talking about like 5 minutes ago, like, oh, it's a quiet Sunday. Nobody's outside doing weird lawn work or whatever. And now I hear something going.
Would have saw these guys for sure.
I don't even know how to intro this thing anymore.
Damn.
I'm looking at the Boston matches.
Yeah, me too.
You can watch Haiti, Scotland,
I say Norway, Iraq is like the cheapest one.
Norway, and Iraq.
Which I don't really care about the teams, but the prices are like Haiti, Scotland is 700.
And wait, that's at
The
midnight?
cheapest.
Iraq, Norway is at midnight.
No, it's at 6. It's at 6 p.m.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're forgetting.
I'm like, what is going on?
Version.
Yeah, okay. Scotland,
Oh, the other
Morocco.
one's like 700.
Scotland, Morocco could be interesting. You should root for Scotland. Morocco's probably gonna. Actually, are we alive?
Yes. What is wrong? I literally said don't say anything that you don't want.
Bro, Morocco got no hitters, bro. Why we care about slandering? Wouldn't we root for Morocco, African country? Or are they up to some such shit?
I refrain from commenting.
Come on, dog.
But it could be an interesting match to watch. England, Ghana. That could be interesting too.
Bro,
Those
I mean, I'm
nice.
sure they're all interesting, but
not the sports.
you see the prices on those versus
Oh,
normal.
they're higher. I didn't see the price.
Bro, it's 700 for like all the matches except for No Way Iraq, which is 300.
Jeez. Oh, that's kind of unreasonable.
Yeah, you don't say. I don't know if they'd be cheaper closer to the thing, but closer to the date.
Mm. Yeah,
Okay.
no way I might be the move if anything, because that's really wow.
Occurs to me the Iraq tickets might be cheap because of the geopolitical shit. If those Iran, not Iraq, that would be for
All
it.
right.
But
That's perfect time to
No,
stop
I
talking
just
and start. Sounds
I
good to
think
me.
they're low ranked.
Okay, I think I need to go here. Yes. Everything looks good
yeah,
in place.
Is my video slow? I think it is, or is maybe it's just for me.
Looks fine.
It's a tiny choppy every now and then, but it's fine.
All right, when I speak, is it lined up or is it lagging?
Yeah, you look synced.
Okay.
For now.
I just
More reason for us to just get through it. Okay, so welcome back, guys. Welcome back, everyone. We're back. Welcome back to the Be Warmed and Be Filled podcast. We had all the guys, the crew, the family. We got Ace. We got Wes.
Yo.
We got Ghost.
It's good.
And we have myself, QuestLando. Guys, how we all doing? How we all feeling?
Not too bad.
Decent.
Nice. That actually sounds above the actual standard answers. And it's been a minute. And I myself am feeling not too bad either. For some reason or another, it's still kind of allergy season, or maybe just the environment I'm in. So I may sound a bit sniffly and stuffy. So my apologies in advance. But I still think I definitely feel hype enough to really get through this, because it's definitely been a minute. But I still remember that at the beginning of this podcast, we got to get through the typical podcast intro stuff, such as, first of all, thank you to anybody that stops by and takes a listen to the content afterwards. We greatly appreciate it. And the good thing about coming to listen to our podcast, coming here, you don't just get dope conversation and dope stories you probably didn't hear about. You also get top tier music recommendations. Yes, if you're in the market to look for some new artists, some new sounds, some new music in general, we definitely recommend you check out our description below and you'll find a Spotify playlist with all of our song selections for this week. Additionally, if you're somebody that likes a more edited podcast or a video, definitely check back afterwards when we're done with the podcast, where you'll be able to find timestamps for all the topics that we talked about. Just make it a bit easier to look around and what's talked about. And if you just want shorter content in general, we implore you to go to our channel, go to the videos tab, and you'll be able to find all of our topic discussions condensed in just those individual videos. So now that that's out the way, it's been a minute. I feel as if there is worth doing some, spring cleaning and talking about how y'all have been, what they call it, shooting the shit. That's not really our style. The only thing I am interested in hearing about, give me the super concise TDLR.
TLDR.
Oh yeah, my bad. Allergy seasons. How was the trip for y'all? Recently, if you may, I don't know why anyone would know. Recently, Ace traveled over to across the pond, as they say, and went to France. I just wanted to get y'all quick thoughts on it.
Yeah, trip was great. It was good to be able to spend time with Wes and his wife, and it was two of our sisters that went as well. We did some things. We got to see some things. We saw the Louvre. We went to the Louvre Museum for a day, to the Notre Dame Church. Did a hike. Like was great. Like got out there, but we also spent a lot of time at their crib too, just chilling, watching shows, playing games. Good time. Only thing that was stressful was the driving.
Classic.
They had you
Oh,
playing chauffeur again, Ace?
I mean, they had me. I did it.
Had yourself playing chauffeur again, I guess.
Yeah. Hmm.
I offered to drive when it was practical. But yeah, we couldn't. Well, my vehicle's small, so we couldn't fit everybody, so we had to sometimes take two or for other reasons. But but yeah, no, the driving is annoying, and Paris is horrible. Like the driving is horrible. Although I do say that, like compared to the Northeast, driving in Paris, the people seem to know what they're doing. They're just really aggressive drivers. Whereas
Right.
sometimes in the Northeast, people seem like they really don't know what they're doing, and they can be aggressive, not great. But
Yeah, and people. That's the one thing too. It's like people drive insanely, but they're intelligent about it.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
also they don't get mad at each other. Like I hadn't ever heard anybody beep at anybody or anything like that. It was just like
Yeah,
even if you cut somebody off or something, they never beeped. It
really?
was just
I mean, I think you
yeah,
might have got lucky. Sometimes they do, but yeah, no, they. As I said, I feel like they have a competency about them, even though the driving is still crazy. Um, but well, yeah, there was that, and then but in terms of the trip on my side, it was great. Great seeing the family a little bit and spending time. Um, it was actually more uh packed than I thought it would be. Normally vacations lately have been pretty chill, but no, it was good. It was good. We stayed up pretty late most nights and stuff. But it was really nice to be able to spend some time with the family, everybody together. Not everybody, but with everybody who could come.
yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, we spent a good time. Tried to show them some regional things or things from France and foods and things like that,
yeah,
and a
Wes
little
is
bit
now a
around maybe.
cheese connoisseur, giving us the whole lowdown on all the cheeses we were eating.
I know the basics. So,
That doesn't shock
but
me at all.
yeah, I'm pretty into cheese right now. But no, it was good. It was great.
Nice. That's exactly the type of breakdown that I was looking to hear. Thank you, thank you. Nice. Um, yeah. If there's any other random excerpts that you guys feel are worth sharing, definitely feel free at any point. But to kind of move things along, um, do we have any content recommendations or warm reviews for anything that we consumed recently? We're always, well, not always, but there's always content to consume, whether it's a show, a movie, a play, show. Did I already say that? I guess the show is in on TV or one live action. A place that you went to, a new restaurant, a new event, anything at all. Do you have anything? You guys have anything to share?
I got
Yeah, I'll
a.
go. You can go first.
All right, you can go.
I'll make it quick. I've been watching a few shows. I'm just gonna do one for now. Another one I'm getting ready to finish up, so I'll review that one next time. But um, I watched the first season of Euphoria,
Sheesh.
and that that first season was actually great. Like it deserved all the hype that it got. Um, Everything from like the way it told the story. It would like introduce characters on each episode, like their backgrounds. Um, it was just so well done. The narrative perspective from the main character. Um, just the way it did certain scenes, like it was a very well done show that was centered on like a relatively simplistic plot. you have the main character played by Zendaya um who has like a drug addiction problem,
Well,
and you're kind of seeing the arc of her um trying to overcome that, um and all of the issues that surround that, as well as just different different interactions happening in the high school with the other various characters that she interacts with. Um, but yeah, the show was just super well done in my opinion. Very artistic. And the way a lot of the scenes were shot, the use of music. Um, so for what it's worth, the first season is great, and I would recommend it. But I'm gonna go into the next season with low expectations because I know um, the general opinion is that it kind of falls off very quickly. So
fair enough. I'm always kind of hesitant to respond when you guys recommend something that's like a big cultural phenomenon that pretty much everyone has seen. But I'll keep it. It's first day back. I'll keep it light. Okay. Um. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else?
she goes.
Um, okay, if you don't have anything else, Ace, I have a few. I'll keep them concise. Couple movies and a book. So I saw the Hail Mary Project,
Hmm.
which I went into as blind as I could. All I knew that it was that it was sci-fi, and I knew pretty much nothing else and a bunch of trailers. I've heard good things about the book,
Was that the one with
and
Ryan Gosling?
yep.
Okay.
So it was a very good movie. I liked it. I won't get into anything related to plot, I guess, because I don't want to say the plot didn't matter because it did, but it was more so kind of like uh, almost like a maybe a buddy comedy if you want to classify it as that, between the main character and another character that appears in the middle of the movie. But it was well done. It wasn't like hard sci-fi in the sense that there was some stuff that was kind of like hand waved or explained away. It did a decent enough job, but it was mostly about like the interpersonal relationships between the characters. Um, I like the soundtrack a lot. Visuals were good. It reminded me of Interstellar, not to say that it's on that level necessarily, but kind of like some of the concepts and themes um, were kind of similar. So if you like Interstellar, which I know all of us do, then I recommend giving it a shot. Second movie I watched is called Is God Is, which again I went into blind, and I kind of wish that I didn't because it was based off of a play,
Mm.
and that might have
Oh,
affected if I wanted to actually go see the movie. So it was very interesting. Like after the movie finished and I saw that it was based off of a play, then that kind of made sense. But it was not a conventional structure, like a lot of narration, a lot of
right.
interesting uh narrative structures and the way they introduce the characters. Again, not typical. I liked some things about the movie. It was definitely interesting, even if I don't feel like everything worked. Soundtrack was good. That was probably the main reason I went to see it is because I saw Moses somebody did the soundtrack. So, and I heard one of the tracks that I enjoyed, so I figured I'd check it out because of that mostly. But again, it was a not typical movie experience. Like long story short, it's kind of about a revenge story with two sisters, and I'll leave it at that. It gets kind of wild, but yeah, I recommend it if you're looking for like a innovative movie experience. Wasn't the best movie ever, but it was decent.
Hmm.
And the last one is a book, which this is not new by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but Amaro, who is it's like considered like the origin of the sword and soul subgenre of fantasy. It takes a lot of inspiration from African folklore and culture and the world
Hmm.
building and the mythos. And it was recommended to me because otherwise I would not have found out about it. I didn't even know that it existed, but the author Charles Saunders wrote the books in the 80s as kind of like a serial published in the what do they do it in like the journal, the digest or whatever. And it was a lot better than I was expecting. Um, Again, very compelling world building. A lot of the monsters and enemies kind of had like a Lovecraftian feel while also being based off of African folklore.
Mm.
The main character, I think, is well done in that he's has his strengths and weaknesses very clearly defined, and how he works through that is a big part of the books. The side characters, yeah, they could use some work. It's not bad necessarily, but it's more of like a told in this form like an epic. Like I can't remember what they classify like Conan the Barbarian as,
Yeah.
like if it's
Yeah.
like what
Hmm.
subgenre of fantasy that is, but it's very similar to that.
Mm.
What is it
So
called again?
Amaro, there's
Okay.
like multiple books, like a trilogy, but each book is kind of it has like its sub books because it's written almost I wouldn't say like a monster of the week type format because there is an overarching narrative, but given how it was written, each not each sub novel book is kind of self-contained. So again, very well done and better than I was picturing. So I appreciate the recommendation. It's also dope just to read books where every single character is black or African, just because
Hmm.
it's a very like here in like the character descriptions, it's a big contrast to what you usually see in fantasy, which is like one sub race that's based off of African uh culture, and that's pretty much it. And everything else
Mm.
is based off of the Euro subculture. So this is a nice change of pace.
Hmm. Interesting.
Nice.
Interesting. Interesting. For you're all set.
Yep, I'm done.
Okay. For me, I don't know. Have y'all seen uh the series on Netflix called Bandy or Bondi?
Mm.
No.
Okay. Um, it's a series set in Martinique, and they don't have. I mean, as far as I know, they don't have a lot of movie making background and things like this. So it was a pretty unique release, and it was a unique release for Netflix. And it follows a family in Martinique, and kind of them dealing with their station in life, poverty, and uh, their relationship with crime. But it's actually like you can tell that well, first of all, like the all of the actors were not actually actual professional actors, as far as I remember. I don't think any of them were professional actors, and and you can kind of tell in the beginning that some of them their acting skills are uh, a little bit not great, but once you get into it, like the story kind of takes it. Like there's obvious like kind of plot holes and things that are a little bit unbelievable, but it kind of does draw you in fairly quickly, and it ended up being a really interesting series. And there are a lot of people from Martinique here in France. I know a few, so um, being somewhat connected to people who are able to like say, oh yeah, the culture was fairly well represented in certain cases. Obviously, it's kind of a crime drama, so it has that aspect to it, so it doesn't represent everything that goes on, positive stuff. But It was a really good series, I would say, and I think it had some decent success across the world for what it was, especially. So, not sure if they're gonna make a season two, but people are asking for a season two. They say they weren't gonna make one. We'll see what happens. But even if they don't, it was a good series to watch.
What's the name of it again?
Bondi, it's Bandit without a T. Pronunciation of Bandit
Gotcha.
uh,
And real quick,
in Creole.
real quick again, is it more of a is it more like a drama or a documentary?
No, it's a show. Like it's not a documentary.
Okay, so I guess it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know why the first thing put in my mind is Shy, because my significant other's watching that. It's kind of like the Shy, probably.
It's it's kind of like in a way it has similarities to Snowfall, if you will.
Yep. Gotcha.
Um but yeah, that was good. And then my other recommendation is a book, uh an extremely thought-provoking book called Soul Whisperer, Jesus' Way Among the Philosophers. Is that backwards? Um, I thought it was a really good analysis or look into the idea of Jesus in set in the time of philosophy, in the Greek and Roman society where philosophy was prominent, and philosophical ideas and philosophical schools, and it kind of compares what he did with other philosophical schools and how philosophy was conceptualized in that time, how philosophy was more of a way of life than just a set of ideas that you contemplate from time to time. It was like each philosophical school had its own adherents, and you couldn't just say tomorrow I'm going to be an Epicurean or whatever. It's something that you committed your life to, and so obviously a similarity with that and the biblical, Christianity, and so uh, he talks about that and compares like Jesus and Socrates, and then goes into ways that the philosophy, if you will, uh, of his teachings can be used to actually affect change in the person that adheres to the followings. Um, but yeah, really, really well written, thought provoking. Uh, one of the few 5 stars in my Goodreads. So,
Wow.
uh, yeah, highly
Wow, that's
recommend.
crazy. A 5 star. That does tell you a lot,
And
given
one more
your
time,
rating
you said
system.
it's called Soul Whisperer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, Daniel Austin Napier, if I didn't say the author's name.
Yeah, I read the first chapter when I was out in France, and it was it was a it did grab me, and it was very intriguing. So I do plan to read that one.
Nice. Nice, Gan. Nice recommendations. Obviously, it's been a while, so I'm glad to know what you guys have been consuming and what's really the piece of content that you found worth recommending. I almost feel bad that I don't have any. Not too bad though. I will say, going speaking about books, y'all know me historically. I am not a reader. I'm kind of anti-book, but seeing how I will be in the business of reading to people in the future, I actually did start reading some books. So currently, I'm reading Pride and Prejudice. Um, Spoiler alert, unless I forgot something, it's still mid. And a book
I agree
called
with you.
a book called Inside the Robe, a judge's candid oops, a judge's candid tale of the criminal justice in America. So, once I get to those, maybe I'll come on here and give my first book one review. I will say one thing that I've confirmed, because I really am enjoying the judge book. One thing that I confirmed and it's kind of weird that I knew it beforehand, but I guess it's not weird because I did read a lot. I do read a lot of articles. I like the content that I enjoy consuming. It has to be real. Like fiction is so like, what am I doing here? And I know this might be
Dog,
controversial, so I do apologize, but no, I need that stuff to be real.
dog. There's no way there's another
What
like
is
nonfiction enjoyers here, bro. Ugh.
But anyway, unless there's anything else,
I won't broach that topic.
Ghost? You didn't find Pride and Prejudice to be funny? Like, I
yeah,
find it to be
Ronnie,
hilarious.
yeah,
Yes.
bro.
I'm dying of laughter while I'm hearing about the husband and the
Uh,
wife go their banter. It's
It's
it's not
riveting
even
stuff,
just
it's
that.
bro. It's
Like,
not.
there's
I mean,
some very comedic scenes in that book, man. Like,
there's some stuff that's like clever that I might maybe like let out a snort of air, like the half laugh or
it's
something.
not just that.
Bro, it is.
It's because it makes fun of like the all of the pomp and all the stuff
Uh,
around courting at that time. It like makes fun of it. So it's not just like it's taking itself too seriously. A lot of it is just poking fun at the whole system, which
people use
I
that
think,
rationale for what anything and try to make anything funny. If the thing's not funny, it's just not
hey,
gonna be funny.
I'm not saying you had to find it funny, but I'm just saying for me, the humor it easily came out of it. I wasn't looking for it, and I was expecting it to be super, up
Again,
its
like I said,
own butt. But
I haven't finished the reread as an adult. Maybe I will come on here when it's done and say, "Nah, Ace was great. This thing is cracking." But
for me, it wasn't bad, but I spent half the book waiting for it to. All right, okay, this is now I was getting into it, and it never got there. It was just kind of, eh.
all the same, if anyone out there has any recommendations or warm reviews of anything they consumed, definitely feel free to share with us. But other than that, unless y'all have anything else, we can get actually to the topics. It's been a minute. Okay, I'm gonna have to switch some stuff around, so bear with me. I guess I'll do this, and I'll do this, and then I'll come back here, and then something. Oh wait, everything's fixed now. Yo, I hate that. I love OBS. Okay, blow that up a bit. See, actually, I was gonna agree with you, Ghost, but I want to look at. Well, scroll down for a second. Let me see that. Let me see if the first comment's the first comment. The comment that I mean, it should be the most overvoted. Um, no, that's not the comment I was looking for. I saw a comment that was like that explains like the background. Yes, there you go. Thank you. You just have it sorted by like what the newest or something like that. Okay, so scroll up.
This is not conducive to centering, but
It's fine. So it is at the time of we're recording and probably it being posted, it's kind of a bit outside of graduation season, but in general, that era of from April to June is graduation season and graduation party season. Salute to all the graduates that have finally gotten to that milestone and all their hard work, all that studying, grinding, test taking. Like it's definitely a major accomplishment if you get to whatever graduation um, that you made it to. And we've been having our fair share of graduations and graduation parties. So again, salute to all the hardworking folks, even within our community and our families. And there's definitely a lot of stress up until that point. A lot of times people are taking finals. A lot of people are trying to figure out what their next move is going to be, whether it be higher education or work or there's a lot of stress with a K during this time. But and even the graduation ceremony itself, it can be a lot of stress as far as the organization. Whether you're gonna have a speech or something like that. But one thing that you know you typically want to make sure it's confirmed is if you're gonna do anything outside of a normal auditorium graduation ceremony, is you want to make sure the weather is on point. And this high school graduation ceremony, they in fact didn't make sure the weather was on point. It's just a brief clip, but roll that clip.
Damn.
I thought there was audio,
So
but
it's like miserable.
Damn.
And they're walking too. Go back to it and zoom in a bit. Like zoom in and then pause it. Cause I watched it. So you notice the people in the stands, they got their umbrellas, but they didn't let the students have the umbrellas.
Like, that's crazy.
Oh
I thought I saw.
man.
Oh yeah, one of them got a poncho though. A couple of them maybe.
Man.
One person there.
That ain't light rain either. That's not like the rain that we saw yesterday. That's drenched. Okay, but just to get the background. Go out of this and go down to that first comment. I'm always glad when Reddit gives you the background. So, Centennial High School graduation in Williamson County, Franklin, Tennessee, went ahead as scheduled despite a heavy pouring rain last Thursday, May 21st, 2026, leaving students and families soaked as the ceremony took place on the football field. Many attendees questioned the decision to continue outdoors given the forecast, with some wondering whether a backup indoor plan should have been used. While graduates still received their diplomas, reportedly protected in plastic sleeves, the downpour turned the event into an uncomfortable experience, to say the least. So obviously, on some of these first topics, I like to keep it light. This is not anything to delve into too much. I'm just curious, especially it's very topical given the time of year. What comes to y'all mind when y'all see this? Is this is this gonna turn into like somebody's like funny high school memory when they're a little older, or with the school like super tweaking by having the outdoor graduation ceremony, even though they saw that there were going to be a forecast of rain. And maybe I'll ask it afterwards. Yeah, what do y'all make of this? I think it's actually not that big of a deal. It's gonna be a funny ha story, even though y'all saw the face on those kids. They don't seem too happy. Or do y'all think that school was totally out of line? We'll start with you, Ace. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I think the high school was bugging. This is actually kind of insane. Like, if this was my situation, I don't think I would have attended. Like, I would just be like, no, we're not doing this. Like, it's crazy to me that they stayed. Like, they're just getting soaked. It's baffling.
Look, that was gonna be my next question. Would you guys attend if you knew for a fact that it was gonna rain that heavy?
I'm shocked that that many people stayed. I can't believe it. Like, I'm really.
I mean, graduation ceremonies are like a big deal. Like it's it's really not that once in a lifetime you can have multiple graduations, but people see it as like a really big deal. You get to walk.
I guess, but I would think like people's just sense of not self-preservation, but like you naturally just like you saw yesterday. You saw yesterday what happened at the cookout for some drizzle. Like everybody packed it up within the first 30 seconds. Like it's just that's crazy to me.
Dang. Oh, okay. There you have it. What if they said, no, you should come. We'll give ponchos and the diplomas will be in plastic sleeves, so you don't got to worry about it getting damaged or anything like that.
I don't know. Maybe I would have felt it out, but I can't imagine staying there with that type of downpour. Like it's truly baffling.
We just saw a clip, so we don't know if it was like a whole production ceremony, like speeches and all that. But that would be sick if they made them do the entire like spiel that they usually do.
You see them too, like they're just sitting there looking dead inside. Like just you're not looking back on that fondly. There's no way. Like
I'm sure somebody will turn that into a funny story. You won't believe what happened to me at my graduation. Fair enough. What about you, Ghost? When you look at this event, do you think it's not that big of a deal? It's a little rain. It's gonna be a funny story one day, or do you think the high school is totally out of line for making them kids be out there?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta reschedule or do something, have it in the auditorium or in the gym, because as someone who's been on record as saying they did not care about their graduation in any capacity, I would have pulled the ace and I said that, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to sit in the rain for 2, 3 hours. Like them shits are uncomfortable even outside of,
Right.
like, if it was perfect weather,
Yeah.
like I'm not sitting through that, getting miserable and soaked, and you ain't going out to eat afterwards or nothing. You just going straight home and changing clothes. Yeah, nah, I'm good.
That is like, oh my god, the aftermath where you got to go home or get in your car and you're drenched. Ugh, yeah. It is interesting. I wonder if the school actually gave like a comment afterwards because I can maybe run defense and say like graduations are like a big production, so it's like rescheduling might have been like not in the cards, but why couldn't they go inside? Auditorium, a gym, a cafeteria. If it's really like all that. But yeah, it is kind of a question. Maybe they want to give them the real deal graduation experience outside. I don't know. What about you, Wes? Seems like everyone's saying they ditched that thing in a heartbeat. Do you see the comedic value in this, or you think the high school is out of line?
Um, I think as an administrator, I'd probably be like, well, we should do something. We should go inside. But if the plan was, and they probably should, yeah, they probably should have planned better. But as a student, I don't think this would phase me that much, to be honest.
There we go.
I
Y'all
think,
gotta,
I
y'all
think,
sorry, y'all gotta put your mind in the mind of a high schooler. Come on, things can't get
yeah,
serious.
as a, I mean, yeah, I think I would resign to the situation very early, and I'd just be chilling. Like, if I'm already wet, like, what's the worst that could happen? Unless the lightning started coming down and striking next to me, like, what? It's rain. Like, you're already
Mhm.
soaked. Like, I would quickly resign to, this is what it is. The thing that y'all said is about the speeches and stuff, and I did have to give a speech at my high school graduation. And it would be weird if it's raining that hard because I feel like the sound wouldn't travel as well. And that would be kind of annoying. I might like freestyle the speech and make it short. But other than that, I don't think I'd be that phased. Once I'm already wet, like it's not you already know what it is. Like, what are you gonna do? I mean, you can walk off. I think if I
I
saw the
mean,
weather, I'd be like, Are we really gonna do it?" And everybody was like, if everybody was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it," I was, all right, whatever. Like, I plan to go. I'm gonna go. Like, if everybody's gonna be there, it is what it is.
Yeah,
nah,
cause y'all gotta think like people be flying out to see
Yeah, family.
their families'
yeah, but it's
graduations.
like, okay, we clearly cannot, like, we can't sit out here in the rain and try to get this done. Like, all right, we're gonna go back to the house. We'll do the little celebration, but we can't do the graduation. It's not going. It doesn't work. Like, we can't just sit out here in pouring rain and pretend this is just, oh yeah, it's fine. Like,
If you're already wet, like, what do you
nah, that's
mean?
not. You have to get to that point. You're gonna be sitting there for the
It doesn't
first,
take
like,
that long.
I know, but yes, exactly. So you're gonna be sitting there for the first couple of minutes. You're gonna be like, "Are we really gonna do this?" And then it's no, we can't do
And
it.
then
Like, no,
I get to the resignation point. I'm not
no.
like, especially if everybody's still there. I'm like, what? All right, we there. We here. We doing this. Like, you're
I feel
already
like
wet.
everybody
Like, you're
looks
not
around.
recouping
Like, no,
anything.
we gotta go. We can't. No.
I like that. I don't know if what's been on the podcast mattered to it, but I like when there's one person to be like, "Nah, it ain't that bad." I like that.
I will say though, it also depends on the temperature. But it was in Tennessee in May. I don't
Oh,
think it was cold.
it's
If it was
it
freezing
wasn't cold.
cold, yeah, I don't think it was cold. If it was freezing
Right,
cold
right, for sure.
and you're wet and you're getting chilled to the bone, that's
That's
another
understandable.
situation. But if it's warm, it's raining, It's not a big deal.
We got an update.
I mean, I'm
Update.
thinking too, like,
Oh, sorry.
I'm thinking too about like after you get your diploma, you like stay at the school, you get your pictures and stuff with people. Like
Ain't
even
no
that
pictures
is
today.
just
Ain't no picture for that event.
No, 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 no,
exactly, and that's like
no,
one of the
no.
best parts, like linking up with people after and stuff.
But
No.
It's ruined, like it's all
that is just
ruined.
how the cookie crumbles. That's what happened at your graduation.
That's one of them
It rained at one
graduations
of our
where.
graduations.
Yeah, there was a blackout at my graduation, but we were
Oh yeah,
inside.
true.
Jeez.
You took pictures inside?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you get any type of rain, wet, and there ain't no pictures, ain't no flowers exchanged, ain't no oh I'm so excited. It's go to the car.
That doesn't
Even
bother me
for
that much
our,
either
I mean,
though.
even for mine, people were cutting out early. Like, it's I can't believe that people stayed for this. Like, that's the most baffling thing to me.
I don't know how
People like me.
quickly. I don't know how quickly you can pull up that post that just dropped in the podcast channel Ghost, but we have an update. So this is relatively harmless in the great. Oh, that was quick. I like that. That was relatively harmless in the grand scheme of things. But of course, the school does have to explain their actions. So according to the superintendent, and obviously we're not a news podcast, so I'm only providing this so things to make them a bit more, give them a bit more context. So the superintendent of the school came out and said, based on a forecast and radar, we expected a call complete. Oh, we expected to complete last night's ceremony at Centennial and Franklin before the next wave of rain began, but unfortunately, changing conditions brought rain during the events. So it kind of sounds like a PR response, but basically they were saying we thought we could bang it out before the rain came, but you know how it go. Would this lessen the blow for any of y'all naysayers that wouldn't go? Y'all be like, oh, you can't control the rain.
No, because they probably just lying about it. To be honest, like they
If it
can
were
say that.
true. What?
Uh, I don't know.
True, I
It would.
believe you gave it a shot, yeah, for sure. But you got to realize when it's a wrap.
It wouldn't change anything for me.
Okay, we're not going to be able to do it, and even if we're not going to be able to reschedule it, like you got to come pick up your diploma and
So you
the
prefer
next
pick
day.
up your
Nah,
diploma, no
you tweaking it.
ceremony. You
I
prefer
think
pick up
Yes,
your diploma,
yes.
no ceremony,
Pick
than
up your diploma.
I mean, for
Exactly.
fine, then
me,
No
they should
absolutely.
stay.
ceremony.
I
Then they should
think
stay.
And then you can do all your pictures and stuff,
That's
and
fine. Then
maybe have
everybody
like
I
a
should stay
building
who
if
wants to
it's gonna be
stay.
rained out.
I
That's
believe
fine.
I believe
Then
Ace
everybody
would
should
be.
stay who wants
I
to stay. You
believe
can
Ace
leave
would be fine with
individually.
going and just picking up the diploma. But you're telling a bunch of young students that worked their butts off that been waiting for this moment. They've
Dog,
been,
yes, and they'll be fine with it because
no,
it's freaking
Hold on, hold on,
now
boring.
hold on,
now
hold
you're
on,
You're gonna
now
be like,
hold
you're
we
on, hold on,
tweaking.
can't
hold
do
on,
this, like,
hold
and
on,
Now
hold
nobody's
you're
gonna be
on.
like
tweaking.
mad about it or be like, oh, the school is tweaking because it's just a little. No, nobody is gonna be mad
Moment.
or not
Hold
understand
on.
why.
Hold on.
Now you're
Then
talking.
you're fine.
What
You should be fine with the situation that occurred because you
I
individually can leave and you'll get your diploma afterward. So there's no problem.
I guess I'm just saying. I mean, truly, like my main point is just I'm baffled that people even stayed for it, and it's not the school's fault that people stayed per se. Besides the fact that they continue to have it,
I
but
think
the whole situation is kind of
you're
But
not putting
you're
it.
essentially to me you're saying they shouldn't have stopped it because it's
shouldn't
you
have.
individually who would have left. And you would have if they stopped it and then said, we're gonna give you diplomas, no more ceremony to everybody, that's no different than you leaving, getting your diploma later, and everybody else staying or whoever deciding to do what they want to do, being free
I
to decide
think
what to do.
they should have stopped it, just for the general, like just on principle. What a school should do in that situation is stop it and come up with either have a backup plan in the beginning, or you don't have a backup plan, you shift to okay, we're gonna stop it and give out the diplomas. I don't think they should have even tried to continue with it because it looks like looking at the video, it looks insane. Everybody looks dejected. You're ruining the experience regardless.
Nah, I don't think you're putting yourself inside the mind of an average young uh graduate,
Nobody
soon
was
soon
happy.
soon to be
Nobody was still
graduate.
uh nah, it's not worth it.
If you tell
Already,
a bunch of
yeah, Gen Alpha or Zoomers?
I don't know, but if you tell any generation of young students that their graduation is canceled, they're gonna riot. I'm just telling you that. They're gonna riot.
Absolutely not. Nope. Don't believe
I
it.
mean, it literally happened for the pandemic, and
Nobody liked
college
that.
students coped.
No, no, no,
Students
no, no,
coped.
no, 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 no. All
What do you
pandemic
mean?
Hey,
high
No.
schoolers who
no,
graduated.
there were some virtual
What?
graduations. There were some virtual
Yes, but
graduations,
they
man.
all hated it. They still talk about it. I go to work with people who still
Well,
talk
there were
about
virtual
it.
graduations, and there were also graduations that were rescheduled to times outside of the pandemic
My
that
graduation was supposed
happened.
to be rescheduled, and they didn't do that. But it's neither here nor there. University, but no, almost all high schoolers you talk to who were supposed to graduate in 2020 are upset that they didn't get a real graduation.
I
I don't
mean,
know what
yeah,
y'all talking
I
about.
think COVID. I think COVID is different because
COVID
it's
is
like,
the pandemic is a bit different.
yeah, yeah. It's like there's people are upset in general about how COVID was handled. So, but with
Yeah, but
rain, like with
the
so
point is they wanted
pouring
a real
rain,
graduation. Why if the
sure, but
excuse
I
is
think
less than a
people,
pandemic, why would they be
every
less
student
mad?
would understand the school canceling. Like every student here would understand. I don't think anybody would even be upset.
No, they would be upset. If the
No.
reason that people were upset is that they wanted a real graduation, and
Mm.
the reason for canceling being a global pandemic is a better reason than it rained.
No, 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 no,
Sorry.
no, no, no. Stop it. Stop it.
What?
Because again,
What?
you understand all of the dynamics of people being upset with how COVID was handled. It's not just, oh, it was the global pan. It's not like it was the Black Death. Like people did not
To Black
believe,
Death.
especially back in 2020, that it was as bad
No, I'm talking about
as the scientists were
now. They still
saying.
complain about the fact that they didn't have it. So they know what COVID was.
Yes,
They
and it's
know.
still things were blown out of proportion. Oh, we shouldn't have had to wear masks. All this
Whatever.
stuff.
No, no, that's not why. That's not why people are mad. They wanted a real graduation. They say that.
Oh my gosh. Listen, by them saying that, they're saying they didn't believe it was bad as it was.
No, no, no. I don't believe that.
Yes, or as bad as it
No,
was handled.
no, I don't think they're not saying, oh, we should have had a real graduation despite COVID. They're saying we just wanted to have a normal graduation like normal people. It's not about the
So
COVID.
what is
Nobody,
it? I
it's not
mean,
a political comment. It's just a
okay, okay,
comment.
okay, 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 okay. So I kind of see what you're saying. So in this situation, with the rain pouring like this, the people in the future would still say, I
I
would
didn't
have
get to
rather
have a
had a real
graduation because it
graduation.
rained. That sounds so
Fine, but
stupid.
I don't think they're gonna be like, okay, now that it rained, I had the graduation that I wanted either. Like they'll still probably be like, I wish I had a regular graduation where it
No,
was not so
no,
pouring
because
rain and I
why
could have
weren't
taken
people
pictures
walking
and things like
out?
this.
People were
Because
sitting
they
there.
died inside. You saw them.
Nah, they still had agency. I don't
Those
know what
brain
you said.
cells
You would have
went out.
walked out.
Their
Nah, nah,
brain
nah,
is
nah, nah,
completely blank. Like look
no,
at
no,
their
no, no,
Come
no.
on,
And
faces.
Wes.
Wes,
Come on,
how do
Wes.
you
There's
know
Come on,
not a
people
knock it.
didn't walk
functioning
out?
brain cell anymore.
How do you know
Wait,
people
what?
didn't walk out?
I mean, if they did, that's their choice, and they get to do that. But I'm saying, if that's what this, listen, I said in the beginning, the school should have planned better. No, 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 no. Okay, but the fact that they didn't, for the students that are there, they either resigned and said, okay, this is what it is. I'm staying here. Or they could have walked out. And from what we saw, there were a lot of people at that point in the graduation that decided, all right, we're here. This is what we're doing. I'm
I'm
saying give
rolling.
them the choice and let them do what they want to do because this is for whatever reason, the school didn't reschedule or move them or whatever. I'm
I'm
saying
rolling
either
with
do
you,
that,
Wes. Especially because you
either
got
get
the
them
the
inside.
hot take. But come on, you don't cap. Those kids look miserable. They look
No, they
absolutely
do. They do.
unfathomably like they wish they were not there or like that.
That's
They
what I'm
do.
saying.
They do. But as I said, they have agency. Otherwise, I mean, you just calling, I don't know, insulting their intelligence. I don't know what you're insinuating, but
Okay, fair
To
enough.
mention
Well,
the teachers, like
again, it's not anything to deep dive, but definitely again, salute to all the graduates out there. If you did attend your graduations, hopefully they were much better than that. I feel as if a lot of people like they're they get a lot of attention and enjoyment at graduation because like their kid or their family members graduating, but a lot of graduations are just kind of very boring. You're just kind of sitting there hearing a bunch of kids you have no identification with get their names called. I don't know, it's kind of a weird event if you really look at it. But all the same, unless there's anything else, we can move on to the next topic. Okay. Now, apologies in advance. Um, I feel as if one of the things I want to work on is like providing less context unless you guys like ask for it. But I feel as if like this is the type of topic where unless you are familiar with this drama, you need the context. But it's kind of work because at the same time we're not like a podcast that wholly focuses on the actual story. We like to kind of look at the broader aspects of it. That's all I have to say. Just bear with me. So I'm gonna say salute to Sykkuno. I know I am not maybe looking like a man of God and saying this, but all throughout this drama, or whatever you want to call it, all I could think is this is a real ninja. No weird implications about it. Anyway, so salute to Yahoo News. I don't even know why people make these things outside of things like this are specific for our needs. So this is a little timeline and breakdown of the Sykkuno drama. If you don't know, Sykkuno is an incredibly notable streamer, an influencer. They predominantly, just do gaming. It's not like the IRL stuff that's going on these days. But the thing that makes him stand out, outside of like their quote unquote unique personality, is they're a streamer who, and I don't have the data pulled up in front of me, but like obviously we know like the role of streaming, especially when it comes to gaming, is very male dominated. But this brother, on the other hand, and also, I say salute to Yahoo. Shame on Yahoo for using this picture because this picture don't make him look like a Chad. There are pictures that make him look like a Chad, and it'll be more understandable why he's gotten to the predicament that he got into. I don't know why he uses this picture, but anyway, this particular streamer in a male-dominated space has a very large female base, and he collaborates with a lot of females. So keep that in mind. Anyway, so what's going on with the Sykkuno cheating drama? The streamer and his girlfriend's response to serial cheating allegations explained. I guess to Philip Hamilton. Anyway, so if you were to scroll down in this article, it gives you the timeline, the breakdown. We won't be doing that, but again, to give just a smidgen of the context, I will go over some of it if that's okay with y'all. So, Twitch streamer Sykkuno was recently accused of cheating on his longtime girlfriend with numerous streamers and fans, and now he's responding to viral backlash. The allegations originated from VTuber. What is that? Himono? VT?
Emomo.
Oh, Himomo. Okay, whatever. It's a female VTuber, sparking a wave of memes and reactions in recent days, including a lot of backlash towards Sykkuno and a few cut ties between his streaming collaborators. But how did all this go down? And how are all the people responding to the joint statement Sykkuno released with his girlfriend? Here's what you need to know about. Scroll down, please. About the Sykkuno cheating drama. So, they post a lot of the responses, a lot of the allegation. Actually, to give more context, because we'll get to the apology and we'll get to the awesome world of internet culture. Scroll down to the what is the Sykkuno shooting drama. So again, like I mentioned, he's a well-known streamer with a large following. He rose his prominence in the gaming content, streaming games like Among Us and Valorant, and his love for anime. Oh my God, this is. I already know where the controversy comes in and why I'm gonna beef with you guys unless you guys are on the right side of history. So in April of this year, this VTuber published a 30, imagine you're trying to out somebody, and it's a 32-page document accusing Sykkuno of cheating on his girlfriend of 5 years with her. Oof, I'm already getting triggered. The document includes flirtatious DMs, between both herself and Sykkuno and other girls in Sykkuno. According to the doc, Sykkuno pretended he was single. First of all, that's a quote unquote pretended, by the way. Sure enough, many others made
We
accusations
see
against
we see what Quest's opinion is already. Like,
Listen, I already. That's why I gave a disclaimer. This is a real ninja
rigged.
for in a lot of cases. Sure enough, many others made accusations against Sykkuno following. Over the following days, the allegations spread, and Sykkuno garnered significant backlash on social media. So after this one VTuber came out and accused them, other people came out sharing their experiences, all type of quote unquote backlash. Like this article said, people cut ties with him. He had a friendship relationship with another very popular streamer, Valerie. And after this all came out, somebody asked them, "What do you think about Sykkuno?" And they had and scroll down. What did they say?
Did you say a friendship bracelet?
No, I just said a friendship or relationship. And they said disappointing. If I never mind.
This is crazy. He barely contained himself.
You already know where I was going with that. Anyway, how did Sykkuno respond to cheating allegations? Like I said, he released his own joint statement with his significant other, and you know, the thing that doesn't really encapsulize, if that's a word, the thing that really isn't like you don't really get a sense of in this article is like what type of streamer is he, and again, the reason why I kind of tried to explain it to you guys before, the reason why he was able to garner the attention in the fan base and the collaborative base with a lot of females in the streaming space is because of his personality. He has the personality of like that innocent anime protagonist. If y'all kind of
Did you watch this dude's streams?
I it's crazy.
I'll take that as
I actually did watch a little. There was an era where he got into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and I kind of was checking out, just not even watching the stream, but just checking them out. But anyway, that's again, it's kind of hard to really understand unless you actually do watch the streams. But anyway, I say that to say they put out this statement because you as an influencer you always got to respond when people are coming at you, even though he probably wouldn't better off saying y'all can get bent. Like I got some stuff going on at home, but I'm not gonna break it down to y'all. But the internet was going crazy, and it resulted in scroll down. Like it resulted in this yes. This is a real deal. And it's so perfect.
What?
Again, you have to have context to really understand why this is so funny. But the voice actor of the protagonist of My Hero Academia, Deku, Justin Briner, apparently, who again kind of encapsulates the innocent like protagonist young boy, did a voiceover dub of his apology. And go ahead and play that just so we can. Basically, this is basically what it sounds like. To be honest, go ahead and try to play that. Oh, you gotta go over to the video.
I would like to apologize to everyone I have disappointed.
Yo,
Most of all,
this is brilliant.
to my girlfriend. I am so sorry. I put you through so much. I never want to make these mistakes again and hurt you and the people I care about. I was unfaithful.
Oh my God. Okay, how much of this will be?
Fully admit that. I lied to people and told them I was single, which I know is not right. I'm sorry to all of the people that I hurt by doing this.
All right.
The following is not an...
Dude, I fucking hate that voice so much.
But anyway, so yeah. In response, Sykkuno's girlfriend portion of the response, she thanked everybody for their kind response and reaching out, calling the incident heartbreaking. She also states her disappointment that none of the women who cheated on let's focus on the women who cheated with Sykkuno reached out to her.
Are you kidding me? Come on now. Like,
Listen, if y'all ready to get into it, y'all can get into it. But there's no way anybody with
Dead ass
two.
Quest. Are you kidding me right
There's
now,
no way with
dog?
anybody with 2 eyes, 2 ears, and one good
Are you
brain cannot
kidding me,
see
bro?
the literal demonization and hypocrisy in all of this. Like people are.
Demonization is fucking crazy, bro. Who was cheating? Who was cheating?
Well, first of all, it depends on what your definition of cheating is. But he already apologized, so there's no need to try to run cover for his actions. Obviously, he feels remorse. He feels what he did he was wrong. So again, there's no need to cover for that. The reason why I'm bringing this is because we got into a conversation about horror, and it really, for me, kind of goes into the conversation of like, quote unquote, wrongdoing and manipulation versus accountability. Um, Again, this brother came out. He apologized. He acknowledged that he was not being faithful. He was kind of playing the field, even though he was in a relationship. But we have to acknowledge that the way in which this like came about, the way in which the reactions were, it's just it doesn't like it's not equal. It's like it doesn't make sense. Um, I don't even know what the best way to like frame the question is, but like, okay, I guess we'll just start it off based off the context, based off what y'all know. Again, not necessarily hyper focusing on that brother. Again, he's gotten enough backlash and words spoken at him or to him and about him. But what do y'all make of a incident like this? Say you got a homeboy who gets caught up and he gets outed like this, and the whole world is coming at him. Do y'all really think that they're the only one that's in the wrong? Y'all really think that the manner in which people are like again, I will say demonizing this particular type of scenario is like completely justified?
Mm. Okay, this is an interesting question. I like this question.
I feel as if you. Well, I don't want to put anyone in a bad light, so I won't. I won't load anything onto anybody. Well, I'm curious to know what you think, Wes.
I think so. I'm gonna walk through a scenario, which is that let's say the person who released this document, for example.
And this was one. This was just one of them. It started with the person that released that 32-page. Again, remember that number.
Exactly.
32-page
Exactly. No.
document.
So
And others follow. Sorry.
this person, I can imagine. I'm not sure, but I can imagine they started talking to him, or he started talking to them, whichever way it went. He either said, or at some point it was established that he was available, single, etc. And they continued to talk to him, perhaps despite or up until the point where they realized he wasn't single. And at some point, either they stopped talking or the communication slowed or something, perhaps. Or the person had something in their conscience that said, oh, no, I know that this person's not single. And I should be ready and collect evidence to make sure that my case is solid against the person so that I can confront them. However, the decision to make it completely public, which I assume that the streamer had no awareness of, is a choice. Is it wrong? I mean, it's assuming that the content is not doctored or manipulated, it's true. But should they have some respect for privacy of the person, or should they have some courtesy in addressing it to them first? Perhaps. Do I consider it a serious misstep? Not really. I don't think. Publishing it. Although, I mean, like you said, 32 pages is a lot. Maybe they could have just started with this person is unfaithful tweet or something like this.
You said that you don't think it is a big deal?
I don't necessarily see the gravity because it's true.
So
I
I
mean,
guess
is it the violation of privacy aspect?
it's the oh, it's the
Let
thing.
let this brother cheat in peace.
It, honestly,
Apparently,
honestly, the thing is, okay. So when someone does something, and I'm gonna ask y'all, how would y'all react if you were in a similar situation? But also like there's a weird dichotomy difference between men and women. But anyway, there's a it's kind of hard to explain. There's a scenario in which there's an offense that happens.
Mm,
Like you either experience an offense or you're witnessing an offense, and you're in that position. You're in that predicament. The way you go about it indicates how you truly feel about it, what your motivations are in regards to
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
things of that nature. So I kind of want to just flat out ask you, okay, so and again, maybe it's not 1-to-1 because male and female are different in some regards.
No, no,
Say
go ahead.
were um you were with you were talking to somebody, you were starting to build a relationship. Maybe you even had some encounter. Maybe you even had some level of sexual interactions. You don't have to take it that far. Just say you did, and then you found out the person was in a relationship. What would your next step be?
Yeah, you confront the person individually.
Okay, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that would be your first step. Tell me where down the line would you make? Forget the 32 pages. Where would you go public with it online, social media, and expose person? Tell me.
Possibly never. Um,
Okay.
no, you know what? I get your question now, and I get your point because for at risk of being whatever, not politically correct or whatever, if a dude did that to a woman, I would say that that man was behaving in a not very manly way. I'll say it that way.
Hello, everyone. Once again,
And not a respectable way. So I get what you're saying because when the role is inversed, I don't really necessarily think of it the same way. But you're right. It's not the way to do it with the most integrity. However, I think at the point where the person might be met, if, for example, the person tried to deny or whatever and tried to, get their way, worm their way out of it and try to make it seem like they didn't do X, Y, Z. I understand why people try to take it to the next level or publicize it after that. And then, of course, there's the dynamic that these people are public figures. But I get where you're coming from in terms of integrity and going to the person directly. But at the same time, I don't think that the relationship that these people have after the fact is a relationship of friends. Because if it's an offense between friends, like let's say, for example, then 100% you always go to that person first and don't do nothing like this because that's insane. But if your relationship is soured or whatever, as again, it's not the thing that you could do that bears the most integrity, but it's still not quite the same because your relationship is not the same after the fact. If you get what I mean.
And to be fair, like some of the things you were kind of mentioning, there is a world in which, you know, they're not necessarily doing it because they feel this is the most logical route to go. They are doing it because the person is being a bit like, they're continuing to be not upfront about it. They're continuing to kind of be kind of, they're creating a world in which like you would look crazy if you didn't come out in a more public space and present your side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you just hate them because of the situation, and that's why you're going about it. So I can.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it is just the person hates the person, or they're just mad and they're just trying to get something off. Like sometimes, I mean, a lot of times it is just that frustration, which it's not the best thing to do, or not the best motivation, but is what happens.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, Again, I feel that there's a lot of layers to the conversation that we were having before, but I guess to kind of keep it at the kind of surface level, what do you're already kind of coming for people? What do you think, Ghost? When you hear a story like this, would you just completely see um, the alleged cheater as like the only wrongdoer in this scenario? Do we see how like people are kind of using that wrongdoing and continue just piling on wrongdoing by the way they approach it? Or I guess I
This
kind of
is
do.
so funny.
I kind of do believe in when it rains it pours type of thing. So I guess maybe even I can see a world in which you kind of get whatever you get when you go down a certain path. But anyway, what do you think?
Oh, let me say something real quick, real quick. There's a lot of cases in which the thing that is done to the person who's done the offense is not necessarily the best way it could have gone, but at the same time, as the person who did the offense, you just gotta eat it. Like, and this might be a case. This is one of those cases. Like the person that you offended is not necessarily gonna do things the right way, but based on the situation, sometimes you just gotta eat stuff. Like,
Sure. Go ahead, Gus.
I just find this whole conversation and the way you're framing this quest to be very, very funny. So I'll to kind of
I'm framing it correctly.
build
So
on
thank you.
something. Okay. To build on something that you said, Wes, and to be a little less politically correct, I would say that in a potential reverse situation, if a dude was the one that he got cheated on with some famous female streamer, whatever, and he went public with this instead of going to the other cheating partner or the guy that they cheated on or the woman that they cheated on specifically, yes, it would be bitch made, 100%. However, all that aside, I do think, just to get this out of the way, whoever posted this initial 32 Google page doc, instead of going directly to the cheater Sykkuno or his partner privately, yes, they are not in the right. They're doing this to get clout because they got a lot of traction off that post and all that. Yeah, absolutely. However, that doesn't fucking matter. The point of this story and why framing it as or asking the question of, oh, this is your friend, what would you do, is invalid, is because these people aren't these people that Sykkuno cheated with are not friends. He's doing this because he wanted to smash. Which you can call him, oh, he's a real nigga, all this. What? Bro, the point here is that I don't care about the people that cheated. I don't know if I should say I don't care, because the people that cheated with Sykkuno, and they can claim that they didn't know that he had a girlfriend. A lot of them probably lying. A lot of them probably knew that he had a girlfriend. They didn't care. Yes, none of them are in the right. Yes, the people that went public with this, trying to get clout, are not in the right. A lot of people that are trying to pile on now to increase their own clout for the sake of it are not in the right. That shit doesn't matter to me, because the person in question, again, going back to this whole example that you made, say, okay, pretend this is one of your boys that got caught up like this and you found out that he was cheating. Bro, the cheater, I don't care if whoever was cheated on, or I don't care if the general public opinion is going too far. They invited all this shit. Like, again, how Wes mentioned, like, you have to eat it. They invited all this shit because they were cheating in the first place. That's kind of the end of the story here. Why are we making excuses, or, oh, they didn't go about reporting this the right way, they should have just kept this private? Bro, why do we care? Why do we care what these other people are doing? Because the general offense is the problem in the first place. And this reminds me a lot of, this is like a few years ago, D'Angelo Russell, Nick Young, and Iggy Azalea incident. If y'all aren't familiar, long story short, D'Angelo Russell claimed he got hacked. I don't know how true that is, but it was outed on like his Instagram story or something. He posted a video clip of him asking Nick Young if he's cheating on his then-time girlfriend, Iggy Azalea. Nick Young said yes. The video got circulated. Again, people don't know how. You didn't know if D'Angelo Russell released it or if he got hacked. But people were pissed at D'Angelo Russell for taking the video in the first place because it broke the locker room code and all that. People to this day still call D'Lo a snitch and all that, and say that he shouldn't have done that. If that's right or wrong,
I do.
Yeah, you can call him all that all he wants. But why are people not more pissed at the person who was cheating, Nick Young, And I will say that the cheater, or the not the cheater, the partner of the person who was cheating, Iggy Azalea, literally thanked D'Angelo Russell for that video because otherwise she wouldn't have known. And obviously, it did not come out in a good manner because it leaked or not, it got circulated online and all this stuff. But we're missing the point.
The
The
thing
point
is,
is you shouldn't be cheating in the first place. That's the point. The point is not you shouldn't be clout chasing. That's the entire point here.
The thing, I'll answer your question of why people are more, in some cases, more pissed at the exposure or the way they expose it. The Nick Young situation is kind of a couple degrees different because that's actually somebody that's, it's not the person that you stepped aside your relationship with. It's like a friend, a quote unquote friend of yours. But the reason why is because, and you acknowledge it, but you're kind of glossing over it. Like, I mean, maybe it's just a old fashioned like two wrongs don't make a right type of thing. But like, when we live in a world in which like the way people respond with this type of offense is to make that level of spectacle of it, it just showcases that like you don't. I mean, you said it. You don't necessarily care about the offense that happened to you. You just like the way in which the way in which things were happened. You think of it's like a launch to I don't want to say tear down the person, but because again, the offense happened. But like use that to like launch your like it's all clout driven. And it kind of just goes back to like, okay, if something happened to you, say like a crime happened to you, you would go tell the authorities or the proper channels that can actually get you some type of restitution or some type of make you whole again. If a crime happens to you and you go tell everybody and anybody, that can't actually help you or can do anything for you. You even care about it. It shows that you don't really care about the offense. You just care about like, I don't know, making yourself look like a victim, which is really the main problem here. These people are making themselves like victims when you're not a victim at all.
Okay. First of all, hold up, pause. Equating this to someone like, let's say, stealing from you and going to the authorities is a ridiculous equivalency.
No one's equating anything. And the reason it's analogous. Let's
okay. It's like okay, whatever. It's an analogous to it. It's ridiculous, and here's why. If you got something stolen from you and you go to the police to, like you said, make yourself whole, the police can go through whatever channels they do and try to recoup for you, like look at surveillance or whatever, and try to find the thief so you can get what was stolen from you back. In this case, again, I don't know the true reasoning behind this specific person that posted a 32-page doc, but let's say that it sounded like Sykkuno was making his rounds with these his fans.
The reason is they're not intelligent. They want to make themselves a victim.
Can I finish my point, please?
I'm just answering your question.
At least one of these people, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I said that most of them probably knew that he had a girlfriend. They just lied so they didn't. But let's say some of these people actually did not know that he had a girl. And they think, oh, there's this guy and he's nice and I want to get with him. And he smashes. And they're thinking, okay, we can have a relationship or something moving forward, and they get ghosted. I'm kind of extrapolating here because I don't know if any situations specifically happen to, but just kind of reasonably assuming they want to pursue a relationship with him. He does not have any future interaction with them because he already has a girlfriend. What level of recouping are you doing? Because that can you do to rectify this for yourself? Because a lot of the times, and not to say it's justified, but if someone gets cheated on or someone feels like they were taken advantage of or manipulated, they are going to seek revenge or restitution because they got played, essentially. And there's nothing that you can do to get anything back from them outside of ruining the other person's life. Now, I'm not justifying and saying that is the correct way to go about things, but almost every single scenario, anybody gets cheated on or done dirty, they want to make the other person pay. And what better way to make big streamer who has a lot of clout pay than to post this shit online? I'm not saying it's the correct thing to do, but to act like if they just pursued this privately and just messaged him
When
directly
we
and said,
actually had
"Oh, you
plans
shouldn't have
on
done that," and
playing.
that would rectify the situation is insane. Because I'll tell you right now, from my perspective, if I'm in a situation where I get cheated on, again, there's being the bigger person, but there's also F this person. I want to get some level of like a get back to them. And that's not the right way to approach it, but that's also very human.
By the way,
And saying that it's only people are only doing this to chase clout and they should have pursued it different ways or they should have done this, they should have done that. Again, we're missing the point. None of this
we're definitely not missing the point.
would have ever happened if the person didn't cheat in the first place. That's we're missing. How are we glossing over this? You're saying that we're glossing over the other aspects of the story. They made the biggest. They made the biggest fence, and I don't care what anyone says. Sorry, you're not real. You're not a real dude for going around on a cheating spree and smashing everything that moves. You're not. Sorry. That's just how you. If other people think that way, that's
First of
fine.
all-
But I think that you're not real, and you deserve everything that's coming to you, even if it's done for the purpose of clout chasing
First
or
of all,
ruining your life
first
with
of all,
no
no, you
personal
don't.
gain.
No, you don't. You know, we're throwing a lot of things out there. I'm trying to keep everything in mind. First of all, no, you don't. You don't believe anything should, and everything else should happen to them. We're not. Nobody's glossing over it. Like all these things, and again, to be honest, I kind of liked how you're kind of saying like the very clear sentiment that is being like demonstrated by like a lot of people in society of like, you know, anything like who cares about how people react. But the reality is, why we can say it's human nature, so it's Michael Jackson, why we can say all these things, the reality of it, that's just not how like uh doing anything, or not doing anything, but doing these things that don't put you in a more positive outcome after like receiving an offense, it's just foolish. Like you can say like, oh, it's gonna happen, and but I'm basically saying we shouldn't do that because that's a more foolish society, and you're saying, oh, what's gonna happen is, and you're fine with that. Which again, I'm fine with you blatantly admitting it, but it's kind of sad. And another thing you said, I guess to be clear, I'm not saying that all these things are like all these people are doing this based off clout, but they're doing it based off of either foolish or a negative intention. To provide some clarity to that. And yeah, again, the thing of someone you experiencing offense and you going to a source that can't help you opposed to a source that can make you whole. Again, these things, this is analogous. That's, you know, the justice system or whoever you go to being able to make you whole, opposed to if you are the person that somebody steps aside a relationship with, there's no specific way to make you whole or for you to get restitution in that scenario. But if you are that person, you know, whether you are ignorant of their status or not, unless they like do something, unless they steal from you or like waste somebody's time, it's just not like an offense. It's just what it kind of it's not. It's like you can't be
okay.
You can't be punished for it. Like it just is what it is.
Are you serious right now? Well, I don't understand. I don't understand.
What am I saying that's wrong? Or
I just don't understand your line of reasoning that you're
what don't
saying
you
that
understand?
essentially what you're saying is that nobody is owed anybody that was with Sykkuno isn't owed any level of interaction with him beyond the initial incident. Is what I'm gaining from what you're saying, in that they have no right to be pissed or upset about this.
No.
Am I?
There's no way you can be listening to me and you can say that. Nobody said they don't have a right to be pissed. No one said they don't even have the right to take action. The action you take should be in line with something that's going to restore your sense of a positive life or a positive outcome. That's what I'm saying.
What if I mean, revenge feels good, bro. Like, what if for them the positive outcome is they post this, everyone slanders Sykkuno that they have been, and then they say, okay, my work here is done, and they ride off into the sunset satisfied. Like,
If
I just don't get what
if
in your
that's
mind
truly-
are you specifically ascribing to say that this is the correct way of going about this situation in restoring a positive feeling to yourself.
I mean, I can't disagree with you. If a person truly believes that going about that makes them feel more whole, they get a better sense of like a positive outcome. That by the way, you expose them, whatever the case, he's getting quote unquote backlash, but he's also getting tons and tons of more viewership because people want to know how he's going to respond. He remained with his significant other, so he didn't lose anything. So I mean, again, I do understand the concept. Some people just are a joker and they just want to see the world burn, and they don't like they get that sort of sense of fulfillment. But just realistically and objective as possible thinking, what negative outcome happened to the person that did the offense, opposed to you? Because the people that went out online and exposed them, they're obviously going to be people that give them backlash, and people are going to call them stupid, dumb, like they went about it wrong. Like now you're opening yourself up to a bunch of criticism when you could have just not. And again, if that's truly, again, to be clear, if you truly get that sense of positivity based off that, then I would say, okay, that was the right move. But realistically, for most humans, that's not going to get you in the highest sense of positivity. Especially when you have to go making 32-page documents about what? Like it was the best use of your time? But yeah, again, I'm always just curious to know what y'all general thoughts are. Even though some of them sound kind of insane. I guess last but not least, well, again, there's a whole nother level of this. I will say one thing that I potentially maybe walk back a little. Given their apology, I think it's fair to say, because one thing that I was actually kind of listening to what some people said and kind of reading some of the things that they were saying, and one kind of theme that I had noticed was that like again, I didn't read everyone's expose, but one thing that I was kind of noticed is like people were saying like when they were having conversations with Sykkuno, like he was giving the impression that he was single. He didn't flat out say I am single, but according to his apology, he flat out said, okay, I lied and said I was single. So that is, and kind of going to what you were saying, no one's glossing over. I 100%, or all of us here, everyone would agree that if you lie and say that you're single when you're in a exclusive or monogamous or whatever type of relationship, you're obviously in the wrong. Like 100, 1,000%. And you probably deserve some level of punishment somewhere down the line. But to say that, that type of punishment is, I don't know about that. But yeah, based off all this, I guess some of the conversation. What about you, Ace? Are you more along the lines of what Ghost is saying, or come on, he
agree.
He ain't deserved that. Come on.
Listen, I agree with what most of what Ghost said.
Let him cheat in peace.
Listen, I agree with most of what Ghost saying. I will just try to get back to your original question, Quest, which I do think was I do think is worth thinking about, like in terms of the backlash and the degree of it, and like.
I kind of want to ask you to hold that thought. I'm really sorry. Maybe it's just because it's been a while since I haven't podcasted and I got some trigger senses. By the way, who? None of us are the most high. And honestly, yes. What are you trying to punish people for talking about that relationship? What is wrong with you?
I'm not punishing anyone. I'm just saying that any punishment that he's getting, I'm not fucking pressed about it. Like you are apparently.
We're talking about in the form of the punishment being him being outed. That's the most innocuous type of punishment you could get. Like you should be thankful that's all that happened.
I'm not saying it's actual a detriment to him. I'm saying it doesn't make you whole. It was a dumb move to make.
Listen, you say dumb or not, it's an emotional move to make. I mean, regardless of
sitting down and typing up a whole.
Yes, are you kidding me?
You're off of emotion. You're pissed off.
People will go to the end of the earth with spite. Are you crazy?
You know what's crazy? This will be too much of a tangent, but it reminds me of the J. Cole diss track and the apology. Listen, I don't think that's true. I think there's literally like some logic into like the reason why they recommend that people sit down and write out their thoughts is because it gives them time to actually process what is like closer to the truth and what's like your sense of emotion. So to sit down and write all of that and then to publish it, this is moving. This is negative intent. There's no way
Yes,
any.
it's absolutely negative
Of course,
intention,
it's
Wes.
negative
That's what we're
intent. I
saying.
mean,
It's
the
not
intent
good.
is to
That's not the
outrage.
argument
Yes.
here. It's just that
The
It's not
argument
even
is
like
the
we're
argument is
saying
that
negative two.
we
We're
shouldn't
saying
live in,
negative
we
two.
shouldn't
What if?
promote a world in which
Wait,
people
hold up.
are moving based off negative intentions.
we should
Hold up,
promote
Quest.
more
Hold up,
people are
Quest.
fucking
Because it's
cheating.
not.
That's
I
the whole
don't even
point.
think you can fully say it's pure negative, because it could also be to get the information out to other women he's doing the same thing to, which I don't think is a bad thing.
I mean that goes back to, does anyone have a right to stop somebody from that? I guess
What?
as long as anyone is being transparent. What are you wanting me for? If you know somebody stepping outside the relationship, you have a right to stop them. What are you on about? I guess that's a worth question to. I kind of hate that this is kind of boiling around stepping outside relationships when the bigger thing is like how should you react, or how what makes sense for a person to react when they're offended. But I guess, yeah, if you guys knew somebody that you have some level of relationship with was stepping outside the relationship, you guys would feel it's your duty to make it publicly known. Just to be clear.
Listen,
I don't think
I personally would go directly to the two parties.
So the
Like,
answer is no.
I
Okay, thank
know.
you. What do you Ghost? You think it is?
no, I don't think it's
Okay,
the
thank you.
correct thing to do.
And Wes, I know you
Wes,
don't.
Wes,
So,
you're completely
so basically,
Wes,
none of us
you're
believe in the
missing
thing.
you're
None of us
missing the
believe in the
point.
thing
You're missing
that
the
we're
point.
saying that he deserves.
Why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about what you're going to do if you found out someone's cheating and not talking about the cheater? That's the whole fucking point. It's the whole point.
What do you want to say? We all know. It's like the reason why we're not talking about it is because we all know it's wrong. What you guys aren't
Apparently
getting
we don't. Apparently we don't. Because we're getting a lot of coping.
what you
in
guys seem
defense.
to may or may not know is wrong is
Hold up,
when
hold up, hold
some.
up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I think what you asked. I think what you asked was not the situation that happened. Because you asked if I knew two people were cheating, would I would I go public, or would I, talk to the two people? But if I was part of the party that's like in like being deceived or whatever, which I mean, based on his apology, we can say he admitted to. I think the would I go public per se, or stay, keep it to just the two people. I think that becomes a grayer area, or like a grayer um question.
I mean,
I don't.
I suppose I didn't ask you directly, but I mean, it seems like both the other parties already kind of acknowledged it was like unmanly. Which, to be honest, I could even push back on that. The fact that y'all view men and women differently in regards to being offended in that way,
I
that's a
do.
whole
I
different
do.
that's
I
that's a
do.
whole
I
different
do.
that's a whole different conversation.
I do.
But the reason why I asked it is because I'm just trying to glean where you guys stand on this matter of, okay, we, regardless of what Ghost is saying, we all acknowledge that that offense is wrong. Is it your right or duty? Because like you made it somewhat of a valid point. Like, okay, the purpose of them doing could have just been made that everyone is aware, and I agree. We should live in a more transparent world. But I'm asking you: do you think it would be, given you putting yourself in this position, do you think it would be your right to do that? Your duty to make sure this offender is public.
I think I would be my right. I don't know if I would exercise it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I know. I know you. I know, like, it's crazy. Like, I'm not talking to random. I'm not talking to random people. I know for a fact none of y'all would. It's crazy, and I don't think most humans would. It's because we inherently know, like, that ain't my business. Like,
You see
okay.
you see how messy stuff goes down when I mean, divorce, of course, is the extreme example of people cheating inside of a marriage. But even that, like, that gives you some indication of the mindset of people. And I'm not gonna say somebody is completely wrong for being in that situation and outing that person for what they did. I'm not gonna say that they're completely wrong for
The thing
that.
is, again, you brought up somewhat of a good point. but making it known and more transparent. But when we're talking about wrong and right, you guys are. I'm trying to be clear and concise. You guys understand where I'm coming from with the wrong and right. Like it's always hard to come to a conclusion on what's wrong and right for anything in this universe. But the logic I'm using to determine whether something is wrong or right is whether it makes sense and whether you will become some level of wholeness or more positive from it. Like again, what is
Yeah,
the
I mean, yeah, we're talking about, yeah. I mean, if yeah, okay, I get you. I got you. I got you.
And again, I don't think
I do
no matter
really
how much
want to
y'all come
get
at me,
into
y'all
your
can't
original
really
question.
outside of that example that makes some level of sense. Which even though it makes sense, none of y'all would do it, and probably most people wouldn't do it. There's no nothing's going to. It's not going to bring you anything. It's not going to bring you peace to do this. It won't bring you peace. It'll bring criticism,
I
backlash,
think it'll bring some sense of satisfaction. Yes.
and even that,
You did what you did. Now you get what you deserve. I think
and even that,
it's going to bring.
I think y'all are glossing over the fact that we shouldn't live in a situation where people are moving based off revenge. Like it doesn't that ain't it.
I can't really focus on this.
It's an oversimplification. I think that's an oversimplification.
Okay, so what is the
Even
scenario or what's the nuance in which it makes sense for people to move
if
off
we want to
revenge?
look at it from the scriptural standpoint, okay, somebody did something wrong. You take it to between you and that person. If they don't admit to their wrong, you take it to the elders. If it's still an issue, take it before the congregation. Why did that happen? It was to spread the like make it known as a lesson that you shouldn't do this thing on a societal level. That now the person, of course, didn't go directly to them. They outed the whole situation, but the that final like result of spreading it to the society as a whole, as you do this is what's going to happen. I, I understand it. I'm
Well,
not going to
one,
say it's completely wrong.
oh, why not? You do get the gold star for making the first scripture reference. You know, we are a podcast based off scriptures, so I give you credit for that. And while obviously you can pull at my not heartstrings, but you can pull at my sense of morality for that. But if we're just talking objectively in a society where there's going to be a whole bunch of different beliefs and systems and all that, like it just boils down to it's a revenge based act, and we don't really want that.
So another scriptural reference: when the Pharisees were selling stuff in the temple on the Sabbath, and Christ whipped them out of the temple. By your logic, he shouldn't have done that because it was a revenge-based act, and it wasn't positive, right?
Listen, if you guys are trying to again, I'm trying to stay relatively objective. If you guys are trying to say that as somebody that witnessed an offense or was the person that's offended, if you want to go and correct, if y'all were homeboys with Sykkuno and y'all wanted to go correct Sykkuno, I wouldn't say a word. The whole making pages and putting it public, that's obviously a whole different thing. It's obviously predominantly negative.
Yeah, Christ should have went to each Pharisee specifically in private, and he shouldn't have made a public spectacle of it.
It doesn't seem like
That
y'all have.
wasn't revenge.
It doesn't sound like y'all have.
I know it wasn't revenge.
It doesn't sound like y'all have any objective response for that. It's
you didn't give it an objective response to the example I gave, by the way.
You don't even believe what you said. It kind of seems like, to be honest, I kind of came in here thinking y'all would actually completely blow me up the water, and I would have to come in here and admit that you guys are right. But I feel more justified in everything that I was saying before. It's kind of crazy. Again, the only thing
I think to summarize,
he did lie. We don't respect
To
cowardice.
summarize, we didn't even let me answer the first question.
Oh,
because I was kind of on. I mean, I think it was a very interesting question, but I don't know if we
Go ahead.
need to get into it now.
good.
I would just like, from the standpoint of people piling on to it, I think that is a very good question. It kind of gets into like the cancel culture type thing of it all. Another biblical reference that came to my mind in terms of that was like let he is without sin cast the first stone type thing. I think the people who pile on and say, "Oh, Sykkuno's this evil guy," all this stuff, I feel like it comes from a standpoint of um like not only not recognizing yourself and how all the nonsense that you may do that aren't blown up to the level because you're not a Twitch streamer or whatever, have the fame of a influencer. Um, but it's also like, kind of like feeling good about yourself, um, trying to be on the right side of history type thing, and not from a standpoint of um wanting to see the necessarily like the good of not just the I mean, not even like considering the girlfriend, for example, or really wanting to consider what would be good for the two people that are in the main at the center of this whole controversy.
I'm sure
So
she want her business blown up.
yeah,
This
that's
is
what the end of this document says from the girlfriend. So I think there is a lot to be said
Another
about
reason why
how
the
public
quote unquote victims that went out about that were completely in the wrong.
I think there is a lot to be said about how the public reacts to these types of this type of news, these type of things. I definitely don't think that aspect of it is good. I don't think there's any I don't think there's much in terms of good that comes out of that. The only thing I will say is just um the fact that the information spread to the public because of what he was doing. I think it's more so just a consequence of um, what he did, and it's something that you kind of have to eat if you're gonna if you're gonna go about living your life this way.
A consequence that you guys or you acknowledge the world would be better if it didn't happen.
I'm not even fully saying that.
Like,
I'm not fully saying no. The
how could you
world
not?
would be better, or
So
the
the
world
world is
would be
better.
better or worse.
The world is better.
It's a two-sided thing. It's a grayscale. It's not the world is good or bad.
Okay,
It's some good
give it
and
a, okay,
some
okay.
bad.
I
The
listen. You
good
heard me.
is that people are seeing that this happened and know, okay, if I act like this is maybe a consequence. That's good.
Again, what is the consequence? A bit of backlash, but you get more views. You say what your girl like. I'm addressing everything you guys are saying. You guys don't seem to be, and maybe I'm a bit too high. So my apologies.
The collaborators leaving him is not a good consequence. The fact that he has to stop streaming because he's being blasted every time, that's not a good thing.
And you're
The fact
taking
that
an
him and his
anecdotal.
girlfriend's situation was blasted to the public, and now the girlfriend's also experiencing a negative. That's not a good thing.
yeah, but no.
It's very possible that if this had happened, the same exact circumstances, that it could have turned out completely different for this dude. We're taking an anecdotal incident of, on the surface, yeah, he's still
I'm
staying with this girl. Yeah,
I'm
he's get
saying
still has
most.
clout.
I'm saying if you're that person, most times out of 10, this is gonna be the outcome. You're only going to
What do
get.
you mean most times out of 10? How are you saying that? How are you even coming to that conclusion? Based off of what? Again, I go back to let's look
Okay.
at the Nick Young and Iggy Azalea
You
thing. Iggy Azalea divorced him. Was that a good outcome
well, what you
for
heard
Nick
the fir-
Young?
you heard the first thing I said. If you're that person, obviously, if you're with somebody that's of a higher socioeconomic status or standing, or just in all by a lot of metrics, they surpass you. Yeah, it would be in your favor to not do anything to uh, do to create that
This
imbalance
is
in that
the
relationship.
worst reason I ever heard in my life.
You can keep coming at my takes, but it's the craziest. Like, there's no level of objective rebuttal. It's just crazy.
You keep saying objective. You
I'm
keep
kind
throwing
of
that word
surprised.
out there.
I'm kind of
You're
surprised
not
that this is
objective. Why are you saying you're objective?
maybe it's because you guys are rusty or whatever the case may be, but it's kind of sad.
You're just
This is
spouting
fucking.
BS.
This is
Quest. Like
fucking crazy.
you're
This is
saying 9 times
crazy.
out of 10. Where's that data coming from? First of all,
Exactly. Where's your objective data? Where's your objective data?
And there's also a problem with you guys misquoting what I just said. I didn't say 9 times out of 10. Like, let's all simmer down. I'm not putting any percentage on it. I'm using a everything I'm saying is purely just I'm using 1, 2, 3 logic. Is nothing sounds fantastical. Nothing sounds out of the ordinary. Again, stop me. Again, please stop me if I am saying something that's wrong.
I'm trying to, and you're saying you're objectively right.
Huh?
I'm trying to tell you that you're bugging with your takes, and you're saying that no, you're objectively right.
And I'm asking
most.
Wow.
Okay. The most times out of 10, I asked you where are you getting that data from, and I gave you another anecdotal example of a situation where it didn't work out,
and then
you rebutted and said that
I'm not asking you to repeat the conversation we just literally had. I'm just asking like how. And I respond to that. So why are we even rehashing that?
So where did you get most from? How do you know most is true?
What am I saying that's not true? Just answer that.
When you said most, you're talking about the fact that he has a certain public status, and this type of scandal is going to likely increase his visibility on people's timelines or whatever it may be. Yeah. That's what you're saying is most often, and that's not unreasonable. Because it's a public figure who's in a scandal is going to have press. No, what did they say? No publicity or bad publicity is any publicity is good publicity. Whatever it is, either way. I think to boil this back down, I think the thing if we want to be scriptural, everyone is self-righteous, and there's things that but also at the same time there's repercussions that happen, and we do have to accept certain repercussions, but everybody is behaved in their own self-righteous ways in this situation, and everybody's at fault, and everybody needs to change their ways. But I think the question that we can ask is if we want to put ourselves in the place of an advisor or the place of the person themselves, what would be the advice to that person? The first one would be for if you're talking to him before this thing goes public, you say you shouldn't be cheating. Make it right with everybody that you're doing this with. Address it with everyone that you're doing it with. Address it with your girlfriend. Figure it out. Make it right. That's the advice to him. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Mm-hmm. Then you go to any one of these girls. If you're addressing their situation, you say make it right with him. If of course they come back and say, but what if it doesn't? What if he doesn't listen or whatever? Then you can go to that step. But the first step, make it right with him. Nobody's going to necessarily advise them. If you read the 32-page document, are you going to be the one to say, oh, publicize it? I don't think we would say that. Yep. So, and if it's the girlfriend, we're saying, hey, so we found out some information privately. We think that you should have a conversation with your boyfriend. Nobody's going public or whatever. And I think that is the advice that would be given to all of these people. And I think that is Quest's point, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. Yeah, good summary.
Yeah, I'm greatly appreciative of you for kind of bringing that back to the basics. It does kind of suck because it feels like there are some largely differing views on stuff like this, and yeah, I don't know. It's fine.
People heard it.
There's going to be a million. There's going to be a million and one topics like this. So I'm sure we'll come back and maybe one day we'll get more on the same one accord. But for now, I really want to give him that salute. I'll hold back since it seemed like that's not the consensus. Yeah, salute to all the faithful and people that stick to their commitments in their relationships. Salute to all those people. Unless there's anything else, we can move on to the next topic. Hopefully this won't be too long. Nope. Okay, I feel that this might draw some things we were kind of talking about, although in a whole different direction. So, in case you missed it, um, I forget the date, I forget the timeline for some of this stuff, but a rapper by the name of Julio Foolio was indeed murdered. Oh man, that was one of those unfortunate things. Like we have it on camera and everything. Um, that artist was murdered. The trial for the perpetrators went through. I believe this happened in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And as we know, or as we may not know, some states have higher degrees of penalties for certain crimes. There were actually four perpetrators that were involved with the murder of this brother. I don't necessarily remember all of them. It's not really relevant to what we're talking about now. We're talking about this specific individual that was one of the. I mean, it's not alleged at this time. They've all been. They were all convicted, guilty. But one of the people involved is named. Isaiah Chance. So, like I said, in different states, there's different penalties. And one of the things that they were looking at, because they did such a heinous crime, was the death penalty, the big capital punishment. So, that was one of the potential sentences, but it actually, the defense attorneys were able to, were able to. Oh my God, I know it's kind of wild that random reaction in the middle of it. I hope I can find it. There's something I got to. You guys should hear the defense attorneys how they like their defense, like the reason why they say that these young boys should be kept alive. Oof, it was crazy. I'll try to find it. But anyway, so the long story short, they avoided the death penalty. That's what the judge decided. And upon receiving that, which I don't even know, I feel as if when you're in the process of like jail to sentencing, I don't know how much access you should even have to your social media. But after avoiding the death penalty, one of the young brothers involved, posted this on Instagram. After this, and then they posted a scripture, Isaiah 43:19. And then they went on to say, signifies the beginning of a prophetic movement. Touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm. All glory belongs to the Most High. Declares miracles, signs, and wonders. Second chance. By the way. Yes, Ace is having most people's actual reaction once they saw this. So this is one of those cases of like when somebody like does a heinous crime and they're facing life, but for whatever reason their defense attorney is able to argue that no, don't give them 25, give them 19, and then they go on to give credit to the Most High, or go on to like sing praises of like, oh, the Most High protected me or watched over me, things of that nature. I think it's a topic that we bump into here every now and again, maybe not on the podcast, but just in general in life, where we see people in our darkest time, that they cause, turn and, give credit or thanks to the Most High. It's kind of a weird, I don't know how all you guys interpret this. But, I mean, the question that comes with this, because obviously a lot of people were like, why is this brother saying thanks, you weren't giving praise to the Most High when you were out in the streets doing all type of wild stuff. So I'm just kind of curious to know what your thoughts on this type of topic here and now. What do you make of when you see something like this, where like again somebody does something heinous, and because they were spared to some degree, or maybe spared even completely, now they're very, prophetic, no pun intended, and really giving a lot of credit and credit and glory to the Most High. You think? I mean, it kind of sucks. 'Cause I feel as if one of the points that might be brought up is like that is the point of the Most High, to spare people no matter what they do. But I feel as if most people kind of look at this and are a bit uncomfortable by this. So I'm just kind of curious to know what you guys think. We'll start with you, Ghost. What do you make of this?
I just want to point out, because I was curious, that the Bible verse that he's referencing, and then that second section about touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm are two completely separate verses. Because I was like, I thought he was like referencing specifically, but either way, uh, I mean, it's in very bad taste to put it lightly, because he's implying that he's an anointed of the Most High. As far as like, I think that's probably the most distasteful part of this whole thing for me.
What do you mean?
But out
Who amongst us is not anointed?
the brother that was caught in 4K murdering another dude, I'm certain is not on that list. But as far as like praising the Most High specifically for, I don't want to say beating the case because he didn't do that, but beating the death sentence. Uh, all I'm gonna say is that none of us know the will and the intent of the Most High truly. So even though my first inclination is to be very off put by him saying this, I mean, I don't even want to finish this thought, to be honest.
Go ahead.
Technically, it was, in a sense, the will of the Most High for whatever reason that may be. And I'm sure that he was happy as hell to continue living, even though it's not going to be much of a life behind bars. Um, I don't know. This kind of ties into like an overall conversation of, and something that I've kind of pondered on and found kind of funny is that something good happens, you say, thank the Most High that this happened, blah, blah, blah. And when something bad happens, it's thank the Most High, this couldn't be worse. So, in a sense, like, let's say we get into an accident, but we come out unscathed. And we say, thank the Most High, this bad thing happened, but I could have had some more serious injuries. He's kind of saying the same thing in a way, but
Hitting on something. Keep going.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm hitting on much, but he's saying something similar in that it's a kind of a almost a false equivalency, in that a lot of the times we perceived good actions we want to attribute to the Most High, and then perceived bad actions we don't. But I think that's kind of a simplistic way to look at it. Again, because we truly do not know the final will and intent of the Most High. So I just think that the reason why it's distasteful specifically is he's attributing some level of righteousness or applicability of the of grace slash forgiveness in a situation where he, like, there's no defending what he did at all. But as far as the general sentiment of thanking the Most High for certain things, that
There's a phone in there. I think it has the pin.
I
Sorry.
think you might need to be on mute. Wes.
yeah, but
My bad.
I've kind of finished my thought, but I don't know. Again, I'm hitting on much, but it's distasteful, but not as distasteful as it might seem at first glance. Is my, I guess, final conclusion.
Yeah, I think the reason why you're kind of touching on the main point is because, like, I'm curious to know what you guys think as well. But I think it kind of does boil down to what you were saying of like, it is that kind of question of life. We like, do we ought, and do we really always ought to give that praise to the Most High when something bad happens? But I guess it could have been worse. That is like the super fundamentals of what, like, if you fully believe in everything that the Bible teaches, that is going to be at the center of it. But I think the reason why it becomes a question, because you're saying it's distasteful, and I think we would all agree with that. But it's like, it almost doesn't feel right with our, if we're subscribing to all this line of conversations, it doesn't feel right with your spirit. Like, I mean, and I can't speak for everybody because we all feel the thing differently, but I couldn't imagine like I do something like this, I get my consequence, and I'm thinking, dang, the Most High really saved me from that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing that I didn't really touch on. If we do something evil, which we all do things for evil, make a less scale of this, but the first reaction should be seeking for repentance and forgiveness, not satisfaction or relief, or this is all the divine plan that I wasn't punished like I could have been on purpose. So I think that's probably you touched on it the best as to
You know, it's a
why
very
it's really distasteful.
you know where you see this a lot, and it pisses me off. Drunk drivers. People do drive drunk, get into accidents, and then oh, the Most High spared my life. All the while, I critically injured myself, my passenger, and some random person that was just walking on the street.
Yeah.
It's real tough. Um, but what about you, Ace? What do you make of this type of reaction to doing something heinous and being spared, quote unquote?
I mean, to put it succinctly, I think uh, being thankful for being spared a greater level of punishment, whatever, I think is, I think in principle, it's okay. But at the same time, well, there's two things. One is posting it publicly is just stupid as hell. Like, if you were actually thankful, I mean, if you were coming from the right place in terms of also being remorseful for your sin, you would understand that you shouldn't post this live because the people who you made to suffer by murdering this man are gonna see that, and you should know that they're gonna suffer even more because you're fucking like this. Like, so that's one thing, and then the other thing is, I think like the level of remorse too that you would have just for yourself, like if you were actually about the scriptures and actually realizing the gravity of what you have done, i I think that's another, just in terms of yourself, like I don't think um you would be compelled to post something like this publicly. Like you would, there would still be such a level of remorse for what you did that it wouldn't be no thinking about, okay, let me post this scripture online, posting, I mean, painting me as the Most High's anointed. You would be so humbled and broken down that it wouldn't even come to your mind. So I think it indicates where his mind state is actually at, and a level of lack of remorse for what he did by posting something like this. So yeah, it's like the sentiment of being thankful that the God that or that you were spared a higher level of punishment makes sense, but actually posting online indicates his mind is not in the right place.
Yeah, no, well said, well said. And then I'm curious to hear what you think of something like this, Wes. Again, what comes to your mind when you see something like this? Again, somebody they go out do something heinous, um, and their reaction is to give glory, thanks to the Most High, wherever you want to say, for being for not receiving the highest level of consequence that they could have received.
I mean, I think the first of all, the gratitude should be there regardless. The gratitude should be there as long as we have breath. And so the fact that he is alive and he spared the death penalty, honestly, yeah, the sentiment of thank God should be fine, but only in as much as we're able to use the life that we have to do something good, to comfort someone else, to make make right what he did wrong. Like, so the fact that that's absolutely missing
Well,
from this
something you can't.
post. The, no,
Can't
I
really.
mean sometimes you can't, but you should still have gratitude that you're. I mean you can you can you may not be able to do it to the people that you did wrong, but if he's in prison or whatever, he can live the last days of his life in trying to live out the love that he should have toward his neighbor wherever he is at any time. As long as there's somebody around you, you can do that. You have the capacity to do that. But in as much as he's going to do that, that's in as much as his life is worth something. Otherwise, it's for naught. And so, and the fact that this post seems kind of incoherent and it doesn't seem like he actually knows scripture and what he's talking about.
Come
That
on, don't
doesn't
do that.
bode
We
well.
all know that.
No, I mean,
The type of
it,
person
it,
that would be inclined to even live a life in which they're involved with murder are obviously not going to be the highest level educated. Knock it off.
no, fair enough. But it doesn't seem like it's incoherent. And what
Yes,
it's
we
like,
know.
and
Yes, we
so
know.
the post doesn't do anything. The post doesn't help. But the sentiment of gratitude is fine and good. But yeah, I mean, it only serves something so much as you're going to use that rest of that life to do something. Um, I think more so the issue comes in or the question comes in when people tend to do this, like if they're in an accident and or if they're in a plane crash or whatever it is, and there's other people that did get hurt or killed or whatever. That too, when people immediately are just so, oh, thank God. It's like, yeah, but what
God, it
about
wasn't
the
me.
other ones?
Sucks for
Exactly.
y'all though. Y'all weren't righteous enough. Yeah.
There is something uneasy about that. But yeah, I don't know if I have too much more on that. I mean, oh, I also said too, like death penalty. That's another topic. Yeah, I'll go there.
Or you have a super quick TDL hot take about this penalty?
I mean, I can't support the death penalty, but I see.
You know what's crazy? I guess
Anti.
I'll round it off with a hot take. I don't know if I said this on podcast or just said to y'all, or maybe I said it just to in my own personal life. You know what's crazy? I don't think I necessarily changed my beliefs. I know that sounds like like you're a dumbass, but I don't think I really changed my beliefs. Changing my beliefs in so much that like the things I believe I really take them into consideration. I study, I do research, and I come to my conclusions. And but the thing I have started to change on is like I think I really can openly admit that because of my faith-based views, that is like the main dictator of like why I would subscribe or be against something. Um, I don't want to tie it back to adultery, but one thing that I definitely that's more that's actually probably equally controversial, but so as you may or may not know, like I don't know what it's like in different countries, but like abortion, which I typically just abbreviate as AB, it's wildly different state to state. There are some states where you basically can't do it at all, but there's some states where you can do it at like 24 plus weeks. And if you know anything about like pregnant women at 22 weeks, you can feel that thing. That thing's moving. You can get a 4D image and see the whole shape of it. It looks damn. It looks ready. But I say all that to say, I think just objectively speaking, without the scriptures, I don't really see the. I don't think that's an example of something I wouldn't. I don't think I could be against. I think it just without that, I don't know if there is. I mean, I guess maybe some type of human preservation type of thing, but I don't know. It is kind of top. It is kind of topical.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could, but.
And it's kind of topical. Those are recent streamers, influencers rather, that they just had to not had to do, but they just went through that process, and their rationale is because they I don't know what the specific procedure is.
Yo, that was crazy. It was
Go ahead.
Sorry, won't you go ahead?
Yeah, you go. You probably know the story more than I just saw like.
I was just gonna say like the reasoning behind it was they knew definitively that the child would have Down syndrome, and that's specifically the reason why they chose to have the abortion.
Yeah,
which is that's a whole other topic because
Yeah.
I think we've talked about like
other topics.
Yeah, not to get into the whole eugenics argument, but I think have we talked about like if you knew that you had like some dormant trait and your partner had that same trait, and when you do it on the Punnett square, whatever they call it, that you know definitively your child will have it, like sickle cell or something, for example, some type of debilitating disease. Would it be quote unquote? And we don't have to get into that
I feel
now,
like
but I think it's kind of tangentially
I
related.
feel like I've had
RCN dropped
or
something.
something similar. What?
No, the stream is kind of getting a little laggy.
I
But
think
sorry,
regardless, the fact that they posted that online is diabolically insane.
you know what's crazy? That's the moral of the story of this today's podcast. Even though there's been a lot of back and forth and maybe some disagreements and some hot takes, people need to not publicize certain things.
Yeah, stay the fuck off
We can all agree with
the
that.
internet, bro. Like, stop posting your business. This is ridiculous. I don't understand it.
Oh,
It's insane.
quick aside. I recall you being against the death penalty for a long time, or maybe always. Is that correct? That's correct.
Who you talking about?
Right? You were for exile.
Oh yeah. Thank you for bringing it back to that. Can I say that this? Sorry, I think there's a bit of lag going on, so my apologies.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I'm seeing it too, so I don't know if it's. I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
we're about to wrap it up. Stream, just hold on a little longer. Thank you for bringing it back to that. And yes, I was against it for a long time, but I just say that to say that view was probably largely based in my belief that none of us should impart the ultimate sentence that you can on a human. But if you take away that, I don't know. Maybe we should be getting ninjas out of here. I don't know. Go ahead.
Sorry, super quick. I couldn't remember if you had said, Wes, again, we're kind of off topic, but very briefly, was there a definitive like reasoning like Quest just gave as to why you're against it? Is it like the same rationale?
Yeah, it's the same rationale. I mean,
Okay.
you're being the judge. You're being the executioner, which is not our job.
Yep.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, I would prefer exile. My plan would be instead of prisons and all this stuff for people that do these heinous things, murder, essay. No need to hold them up in prisons where taxpayers' money gotta go to it. Let's just send them into a exile prison island, hopefully surrounded by shark-infested waters. You don't give them any resources. This is not like we're housing them on another place. Just ship them off, get them out of society, and do it like that. But obviously, that seems a bit complex.
Low key, Antarctica, just drop them there.
What's going on with Antarctica? People be. On one hand, I feel like I'll see streamers that be like, "Oh yeah, I want to go stream in Antarctica," but then some people say you're not allowed to go to Antarctica. I don't know.
It's a shared territory. It's weird.
Fair enough. Before this stream gets
If idea for anime, but yeah, sorry, that's off topic.
All the same. Fair enough. I think that's it for the topics for today. You know how we like to do at the end of all the podcasts. It's been a minute, but what, if anything, are we looking forward to? Be it the near future, the distant future. They say about something to look forward to. I'd say for me, it's super simple. King of the Hill is coming back. I don't know what number season they're on, but the new reboot.
And the negative camp, but it looks good. And although some of the stuff I've seen looks a bit Marvel versus Capcom-ish, or infinite combos that I do not like, but besides that, I'm hyped for that. I think I'm probably gonna rebuy my Switch or a Switch to play that when it comes out in a month or whatever it is.
Fair enough.
Wedding of some friends coming up next month, so that should be fun.
Dang, everybody's getting married.
Damn, you always going to weddings.
But maybe he was at the wedding. You'd probably recognize him.
I'm sure trip come do some hiking, swimming, be fun.
Nice. Any camping or
No,
like actual outdoor?
no, we were thinking about it, but we just got an Airbnb.
Fair.
Fair enough. Good shit. Well, I guess the last. Sorry, I'm so displayed during this podcast. But regardless of anything that was said, we're still homies at the end of the day, and I'm super appreciative for y'all for coming out and doing this podcasting. And we greatly thank all the listeners, supporters, liker, commenters, or anyone that just is tangentially aware of our show. We greatly appreciate y'all. And we hope that podcast that you. Sorry, I was on the wrong screen. That you, you know, gain new perspective, learn something new, like the fact that if you step outside of your relationship, expect some level of revenge coming your way.